the PL-89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar for Monday, October 28th, 2025, and Yom Sheni, second day of the week, the sixth day of Mar Cheshvan, or Cheshvan, the sixth day of any month in this dispensation, which means that the fixed month starts here. So Cheshvan starts here, November starts here. This is the third dispensation of the three dispensations of this calendar. And the box number is 11. It starts with the first day of the month is an 8, the second day is 17, third is 25, fourth is 34, the fifth is 2, and the sixth day is 11. So 6 is 11, and I think in Psalm 6 there are 11 verses. I'm pretty sure that's true, but I'd like to verify it just to make sure that I don't quote any misinformation. So hold on. Meanwhile, it's also October 28th. That's also accounted for in this calendar. It's both a lunar calendar and a solar calendar. It's a Daf Yomi calendar, and it's also a Julian calendar. It's a Gematriatic Quantum Thought calendar, which means the thoughts are entirely numerical, you could say, right? Tehillim chapter 6, which I read today, has 11 verses. Right. So that is a great example where I had not, without any knowing, without any consciousness, no planning, I read Psalm 6 today. Because today is the sixth day of Cheshvan, it was anyway. And the sixth day on this calendar lands itself on box 11. But in Psalm 6, there are 11 verses. Most people would say that's just a coincidence, that's just lucky. Okay, these things happen all the time. I'm beginning to learn that it's not such a coincidence. There's something to it. There's a higher order, a higher mathematics that's going on, and I don't want to say desperate, but like obsessed maybe is the word, with finding out what that mathematics is. There's a few names that I've given to it, and maybe it does have a name. It's kind of like the theory of everything, or chaos mathematics, also nicknamed or named the big everything. It's how everything is connected to everything else through mathematics. It's a type of applied mathematics. The only thing is it's so vast, its application is so vast, it's literally to everything. So it can be called everything mathematics, or chaos mathematics, or the big everything, but I think you might be getting the idea by now. So today is the 6th. The 6th lands itself on box 11. It doesn't go in order, it goes like 8 plus 9, okay? Different time, hopefully I'll explain that. And I have explained it before as well. So 6th day lands on 11, and I read Psalm chapter 6, and it has, lo and behold, it has 11 verses. These kinds of synchronicities, these kinds of alignments are the fuel that runs this engine, to use the analogy. But anyway, so that's it for the lunar, but the solar is also something interesting. I came up with a few different gematrias today for the solar. The solar is October 28th, which is 8. Because it's the 10-day twilight 8. There it goes in order. 10-day twilight 1 is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are the last 10 days of any cycle. So October, in dispensation 3, October is from October 21st up until the 30th, 31st are the 10 or 11 days. So let's go to the type of gematrias that I found. Now I will say there's something called the rule of 40. What is the rule of 40? The rule of 40 states that any number in this table, any number here, it's 1 through 40, and I also learned something today about 40 and a 40. It had to do with 40 days in the book of Jubilees, which I knew about it, but I didn't really discover. You know how you know about something, but you don't really get interested into it until a much later time. Like you might hear about something, and then a few years later, you actually get into it. You're drawn into really understanding. Now that is the case with the book of Jubilees. And let this be a great testimony of the day, because it has to be something about this day that is connected to the book of Jubilees. I already found a few connections, but October 28th, 2025 is the day that I was drawn into the book of Jubilees. And Jubilee, it's like the history, it's sort of like Genesis and Exodus, it's the same story, but it gives some detailed accounts. And some parts of it, it's a little bit more abbreviated, but in some things it's actually more elaborate. And it gives names for example, of the wives of some of the early people in Genesis you don't see in the book of Genesis, but you see like the wife of Cain, who his sister was. It says their names. And the names of all these early people, Jared and Mahalalel and all these people. It says that they're wives. And how did they know that? And why is it not recorded in Genesis? I don't know, but and I think the book of Jubilees was written in the 400 years between the Old Testament and the New Testament. And so after Malachi or something maybe. But anyway, so let's see here. Let's just see here. Okay, the rule of 40 states that any number, I was saying any number in this. Oh, let me go back there. The reason why I said Jubilees is that 40 and 40 makes 80, and that has to do with this calendar. It also has to do with what it says in the book of Jubilees about after Adam was made and wherever he was made, God brought him into the Garden of Eden after 40 days, and then Eve after 80 days. And that's exactly what this calendar is. It's 40, and then it's 80. Okay? 40 and 80. Man, Adam, and Eve. So that's another secret of why it's 80 days. But that's not the PL-89. The PL-89 includes this extra 10-day twilight period, which goes up to 89, but also 88 is significant. And 88, because of the rule of 40, which I didn't say yet, but I was going to say, the rule of 40 is that any box on this calendar, on this table, you add 40 to it and it stays in the same room, so to speak. It stays in the same area. Like, for example, 8 is connected to 48, is connected to 88, 128, 168, okay, 2,000,008. Okay, infinity and 8 is basically infinity and 48. Infinity and 88. I think you got the idea. So what does that mean? It means that today, that we're on 10-day twilight 8, because it's October 28th, over here, it's not on the calendar, it's the invisible line here. So 10-day twilight 8, or T8, is also 48, right? It's also 88. And here are some really amazing gematrias that I learned today, are 88. The word Emmanuel, in English, the traditional spelling is, or a certain common spelling is I-M-M-A-N-U-E-L. That has an English ordinal gematria value of 88. And that's significant. Okay? There's a word called Exodus. Exodus means leaving, but leaving something, like an exit. But Exodus is specifically related, it's the most commonly referred to or recognized as the Exodus of Egypt. So think about the Exodus of Egypt, you're thinking about Geula, redemption. Okay, it's 88. Okay, Emmanuel, 88. Exodus 88. In Hebrew, the words Ad Sheavo Eliyahu in ordinal Hebrew gematria equal 88. This means until Elijah comes. Is there a connection between Emmanuel, Elijah, and the Exodus? Okay, we're getting somewhere here. In ordinal gematria, not regular. Regular is different. There's words that are mimcha liyetze, from you to me will go forth. It's from Micah 5:2 or 5:1. It's in ordinal gematria equals 88. Okay, the word in English gematria believeth, not believe but believeth, like the old English. Believeth equals 88, and there's a word called begotten, and it equals 88, and all those equal 88. And I think that's very significant over here, and so we'll leave it at that. And that is the PL-89 for today.